Satchidanandarupaya Vishwotpattyadihetave Tapatraya Vinashaya Shri Krishnaya Vayam Numaha. This first prayer shares that the only one who can help us finally from our sense of incompleteness, our sense of dis-ease, is Sri Krishna, is a higher presence. Janmadyasya yatonvayaditarat tascharteshvabhignaswarat tene brahma hridaya adikavaye muhyanti yatsurayaha tejo vari mridam yatha vinimayo yatra trisargo mrisha dhamna svena sada nirasta kuhakam satyam param dhimahi. The second prayer, which forms the first verse of the 18,000 verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, is sharing the way to feel Sri Krishna is through contemplation. That one's whole life should be training in how to contemplate so that one feels divinity. Dharma projita kaitavotra paramo nirmatsaranam satam vedyam vastavamatra vastu shivadam tapatrayon mulanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Kim Vaparerishwaraha Sadyo Hridya Varudyate Trakritibihi Shushrushubi Tachana. And this second verse of Srimad Bhagavatam teaches how one can prepare for contemplation, and that is dharma. That everyone has specific responsibilities. Just like in this school, someone has to move a chair, someone has to buzz people in. If one follows their specific responsibilities, their minds become quiet and they start to feel more happy. The word Krishna itself means that which attracts. And what is most attractive in a person? How happy they are. You can be around a very beautiful and or handsome person, but once they open their mouth and you sense that stress, that anxiety, that sadness, they become less attractive then. You don't want to be around them as much. That's why people sit far away from me. They can sense that in me. Hari Om and greetings from Cleveland. Last week, I was sharing with all of you a visualization of looking up and seeing all of these diverse trunks of a tree. And though the trunks are different, the roots are not. The same root system can nurture diverse trees. Agreed? Okay. Sharing this in a different way. We are all different expressions. Some are taller, some are shorter, some speak very loudly, some don't speak at all. Yet, the energy that facilitates those expressions are the same. It's not like there's Saloni energy, which is different than Ajay energy. It is energy expressed as Saloni, expressed as Ajay. And so even nature and science is guiding us to a unity in creation. That there is only Advaita, but who actually feels that? Even now, if your spouse is sitting beside you, but they're sitting too close, you kind of move away, correct? Yes, yes. The vision of Srimad Bhagavatam is for one to forget about themselves, to forget that we are separate. Many of you, you were born and raised in India. Our children have yet to travel to India, but when they go, I'm sure the first thing that they're going to complain about is personal space. Here they have lots of personal space, correct? In India, there's not a lot of personal space. Everyone eats closely, everyone sleeps closely, and so on. And it's because it's not about you. It's about that family. It's about that community. So this is the vision of Srimad Bhagavatam, to forget about ourselves. And the word Bhagavatam itself means to belong to. We are flowing through this map to feel like we belong to the divine. But this feeling will only come if you follow these teachings. How many of you exercised yesterday by show of hands? It's a good number of hands. How many of you knew that you should have exercised yesterday? See, we all know we should exercise, but only those who follow an exercise routine are the ones who are healthier, correct? You're entitled to eating more lunch today than the rest of us because you follow. We are presently in the 11th section. Section in Bhagavatam is called Skanda. And this section is known as the head of Srimad Bhagavatam. Whenever you watch people playing sports and there's a collision, what worries you the most about that collision? If there's heads involved, correct? Less calves, less shoulders, but if two people hit their heads, it's very concerning. It's a priority in this body, correct? If my elbow breaks, it's not great, but if my head is injured, it's extremely concerning. So Srimad Bhagavatam's 11th section is known as the head because we have to make this a priority, especially because we all know that Bhagavan Krishna is going to become unmanifest. His form is going to vanish. His name is going to vanish. I consciously didn't teach you that when we ended the last semester in May, because it's sad. And I'm consciously going to begin the next chapter next week during Navaratri, because there'll be lots of eating and drinking and you'll be more cheerful to be prepared for Bhagavan Krishna to become unmanifest. So we have to use our heads and prioritize his life and teachings. And these are encapsulated in the Upadesha of the yogis. How many yogis? 9. Upadesha means advice. It's very different than when you watch Indian TV serials and a queen is speaking to a servant. What does she give to that servant? Adesha, correct? Adesha is top down. It's a command. This is called Upadesha. It's between equals and it comes from the bottom up or inside out, the Navayogi Upadesha. This is the final review that we will flow through before we begin new content when Navaratri begins. And that's special too. The word Nava means new. So we'll share newness during Navaratri. Question 1. What is Kshema? In English, the question is, what is the greatest good for the greatest? The seeker asks the Rishi, what is the greatest good for humanity? What can humanity do that is best for them? And the Rishi answers, Dharma, for them to follow their responsibilities. And I remember Puja Swami Tejomayananda sharing this in a social construct, that if everyone follows their responsibilities, no one will have to fight for their rights. Everyone's rights will be met and fulfilled. But there's irresponsible people, so then a fight for rights has to happen. If everyone drove safely on the highways, are police needed? No, or at least very little police. Yes. So what is the greatest good? Dharma. And specifically, it is to have the vision that all you do for Bhagavan. You start with that. And within that, start with specific doings you engage in, like you shower for Bhagavan, you eat for Bhagavan, you drive for Bhagavan, and keep on expanding that. You parent for Bhagavan, you garden for Bhagavan, you make money for Bhagavan. So all that you do, and you will know that you're following through with this, when it's no longer about doing, but all that you are is for Bhagavan. First, I give Bhagavan what I do with my mind, and the evolution of that, I give Bhagavan my mind. Question 2. What is Linga? Linga here means, what are the characteristics of those who are following their dharma? How does one know if they're flowing through their responsibilities with dedication? And the Rishi answers, bhava. Bhava. Bhava means feeling. They feel that all of their experiences are infused with divinity. So when it rains, that's because of Bhagavan. When it doesn't rain, that's because of Bhagavan too. I find we're good at that. Suppose we work hard and it starts to rain, we'll say Bhagavan is showering his grace. But if it's sunny, Bhagavan is showering his grace still. That's a nice notion. More specifically, the Rishi answers, those who are the most evolved feel divinity in all. Those who are less evolved feel divinity in some. My sister's divine, my uncle's divine, but not you, definitely not you. So you go from all are divine to some are divine. And who do you think the least evolved are? Those who feel none are divine other than murtis. See these icons in front of me? Divinity is there, but as soon as you leave this radar or force field, lack of divinity. This is the divine section. I paid more to sit here. That's the lack of divine section. That's the least evolved. But when we follow our responsibilities, we feel some are divine, then all are divine. Question 3. What is Maya? What is Maya? Anyone want to guess? What is Maya? Change is Maya. What makes the impossible possible? Yes, yes. The same. Okay. You are correct. What the Rishi answers here is Sarja. Sarja means creation. What is Maya? Creation. Why? How many of you are parents of teenagers, by a show of hands? Parents of teenagers. Okay. How's life? What I've noticed with a lot of teenagers, and many are sitting in this room right now, not the ones sitting in this room, because I know them quite well, but some of the more random teenagers that I interact with, there's a strong sense of entitlement. They feel that they deserve all that they're experiencing, but did they work for it? You worked for it, but they feel they deserve it, correct? So Maya here is when I'm experiencing creation, but who do I forget? The creator of that creation. That's the effect of Maya. Specifically, why this question is asked is because the seeker knows that Maya belongs to Bhagavan. That's the reason why this question is asked. We don't like Maya, but we love Bhagavan. Since Maya is associated with Bhagavan, we want to know about Maya too. 2 weeks ago, I went to see Pearl Jam in Toronto. And you all know how much I like Pearl Jam. So I had invited Shankarji to come to the concert too. And he doesn't like Pearl Jam, but he likes me, and I like Pearl Jam, so by association, he came. See how this worldly example makes sense? But I think Bhagwan was punishing him because he got COVID at the concert. He wasn't a super fan. See, I was a super fan with super immunity, so I never got COVID, but he did. Now for us, if we follow the trail of Maya, we will get to the one who Maya belongs to. Don't get caught up in Maya. Don't make matters personal. Question 4. What is taranti? All of our Sanskrit students and scholars, what does taranti mean? That which helps you to cross. Maya is often visually described as a body of water, as an ocean. So how do we cross over Maya? And the answer given is prapadyeta. Prapadyeta. Does anyone remember? You can show me with your hands what prapadyeta means. Show me with your hands what prapadyeta. Anyone here want to show me with your hands? Prapadyeta is where you put one hand on the feet of your Sadguru, of your master, and you put one hand underneath their feet. One on top, one below. The one on top is so that they don't leave you. And the one below, so you don't leave them, correct? Because they're stepping on your feet, so you don't leave them. The way to rise above Maya, to rise above this ego, is to serve a master. What makes one a master? Because you can study lots of master classes online, correct? Master class in writing, master class in being a spy, master class in putting nail polish on. But the masterliness that I'm describing, a master is one who is devoted to Bhagavan. Now, if I'm devoted to my master, that means I won't get trapped. Clear? So, prapadyeta. Question 5. Who is Narayana? Who is Narayana? Now, if I asked you this, you'll respond saying, Narayana is the one who sleeps on a snake. Narayana is the one who lives in the sun. Narayana is the one who we pray to when there's a full moon and so on. But the answer given by the Rishi, Ahetu, Narayana is the one who's causeless. The one who is causeless. And this is a very profound answer. This means Bhagavan Narayana has not been caused, but he also doesn't cause. We all feel we're an effect, correct? But if the answer is Bhagavan never caused an effect, then who are you really? Who is Narayana? Here's where you write Praveen, Meera, Soumya, Maithili, not Arundhati, not Vaishali. The question is, who's not Narayana? It's impossible not to be Narayana. That forgetfulness is very deep. How do we remember? To live as existence, awareness, joy. Last week I was in Orange, Connecticut, and I was speaking on spiritual parenting. And one of the frameworks I shared with our seekers was to be light-footed. Someone who's light-footed is better for the environment, correct? They have a lighter carbon footprint. That's what it means to live by existence, to not harm the environment. Your second was to be light-hearted, to be light-hearted. That is to live as awareness that if someone is being rude to you, maybe they're having a bad day. Maybe they had a bad childhood. To have that awareness, to not be shaken by that. And to live by joy, which means to be light-headed. I know that sounds awkward, but just go with it, okay? Light-footed, light-hearted, light-headed. Light-headed means you're always reflecting on, can I be happier? Can I be happier? Can I be happier? What do I do to be happy? We do a lot of that when it comes to money, to politics. But in regards to joy, the more light-footed, light-hearted, light-headed one is, the more one is tuned into Narayana. Question 6, what is Shuddhata? Shuddhata, which means what is purity? How do I purify who I am so that I feel I am Narayana? And the answer given is yoga. Can you all show me yoga? Ready? Do yoga. Now everyone's in their cobra position, downward dog, and then so on, correct? My yoga hat, my yoga agarbatti. If I ask you to do yoga, what you should do is smile, correct? The more pure you become, the more you feel that joy. And we are fortunate in Sanatana Dharma that there are many paths because there's many personalities. Yes. See, it's like North Indian food, unlike South Indian food. South Indian food, only rice. This rice, that rice, and that rice. See how proudly everyone's saying yes. You're the Advaita way, we're the Dvaita way, correct? But my point is that there's many yogas. There's karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga. Sharing this more specifically, more of an English orientation. When you follow a path that resonates with your personality, you will feel more pure. You will feel that you're more than your body, more than your mind. You will feel that presence. Question 7, what is avatara? Avatara. For those who have seen a movie recently, then the new Avatar is coming out. And I believe the slogan is the way of the water. See the copying, it's avatara, and it's a way of life. The answer given is stapana. Stapana means to establish, to balance. I was interacting with a seeker recently who is an advanced seeker. And I was sharing with him that you are doing Bhagwan's work. Those who study and follow Bhagwan's map, that's how Bhagwan reestablishes dharma. We have these magical notions that Bhagwan will come as a puppeteer and move you around and move you around. But really, it's those who study and follow dharma. They're part of the stapana. To bring balance to the world, to humanity. Specifically, before we studied the 10th section, I had shared with all of you, there was a premonition of Bhagwan Krishna's birth. And part of that premonition was, why is he being born? And what Srimad Bhagavatam teaches, he is born to bless. Just born to bless you and me and definitely all of us. He didn't even come to balance. He just came to bless. The people who tried to kill him, he blessed them. The people who danced with him, he blessed them too. How do you know that you're blessed? When you have guidance in your life. Do you all know people who are going through a tough time in their life? And quite often, those people who are going through a tough time don't have guidance. They don't have someone who will listen to them. They don't have someone who will be objective with them. They're lacking that kripa or that grace. But if we have guidance in our lives, know that the source of that is grace. 2 more questions, then we'll begin our discussion. Question 8, what is kama? What is kama? What is the English word for kama? Desire. What do you think the Rishi answers with? What is desire? The Rishi answers with patanti. Patanti means to fall. Desire is that which makes you fall. If you're in an important meeting and you have a desire for buying something that's just about to go on sale, then where are you? It's sad because you're not in the meeting nor shopping. You may as well choose one, either be in the meeting or shop. Correct? It makes one fall from their responsibilities. And specifically, and this is such a potent message, please be self-reflective about this. What does falling feel like? Being busy. If you had a busy yesterday or a busy week or a busy month or a busy year, don't think it's because you have so many things to do. It is because of kama. You're desiring so many things, so you have so many things to do. And we get trapped in the relative. There's no bandwidth to focus on that which is more important. How many of you this month thought it or said it that you were busy? By a show of hands. Those who don't have their hands up is because you're worrying right now. I'm patanti. It's because of that desire. And I always tell people that if I make a statement and you're offended by it, it applies to you more. Correct? Suppose I call you lazy and you're offended by it, then it applies to you. But if I call you lazy and you're not offended, then it doesn't apply to you, correct? That's the importance of being self-reflective. Last question. What is puja? What is puja? And the answer given is sankirtana. Sankirtana. Kirtana means to sing. Sankirtana means to sing inside. You're not singing for anyone. You're only singing for your Bhagwan. Do you all know why I don't sing in our class? We listen to a recording. I don't want to instigate jealousy in all of you because of my natural singing abilities that even though untrained, I can be paid to sing. So I don't want you to feel like that. So the singing that's being described here is japa. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. That's what Sankirtana is. Is there more beautiful and less beautiful japa? It's up to you. It's based on your passion, correct? And what's special about Kali Yuga, this age of speed, is there's less conditions on sadhana. See how gracious Bhagavan is. He knows the more useless we become, his expectations of us are less. we should be happy about that. And this whole Upadesha from our yogis, it is very wonderfully summarized with Deva, Rishi, Bhuta, Atra Nirnam, Pitrnam, Na Kinkaro, Nayamrani Cha Rajan. The rishis share that if you follow this Upadesha, then you are no longer a servant to anyone. You no longer owe, the word rina is used. You no longer owe anyone. If we follow this Upadesha, what will we feel? Freedom. I'm not externally owing anyone. I'm not internally owing anyone. Nabandaha, because there's mukti. One is free. Oh.